Hi guys, it's Talisha and you have no idea how excited I am to be doing another show vlog. So, today we are off to Camden Dressage. This is actually my second comp in the whole of this year and we're in November. What a year 2020 has been. So Bambi and I are going to be going to her first dressage competition ever. She's done one other competition and that was just showing, which we did in March. But yeah, this will be her first time in a proper dressage ring. But I'm pretty confident that she's going to handle it really well. She's had heaps of outings, but not many to a competition environment, but we'll see how she goes. We are doing the Prelim 1C and the Novice 2A. So the Novice is actually first, which is kind of annoying because obviously it's the harder test, but I'm sure she'll be fine. And we're on at 8:30 and then our second test is 9:10. So nice early morning and then we'll be done by lunch, which is good because it's supposed to be quite warm today. So yes, I am all ready and we're about to go to get Bambi because our horses still aren't on our property at the moment. We're still resting our place. So we're gonna go get Bambi. Last minute grabs of things because I realized last night, like I didn't actually forget anything, but I realized last night that because of COVID and everything, we probably won't have a communal hose to hose off our horses. So I realised that I'm going to probably need to bring my own if I want to wash off Bambi. So that's what I'm venturing to do now. Alright, hose is in the car. We are now ready to go get Bambi. Just need to go make sure the parents are ready. Hey Bliss! Hi! Oh, bye. Bam! Carrot? Don't want it. We love a quiet young horse, happily eating, does not have a care in the world. We're parked right next to the obstacle course too, so that'll be fun. So here we have the Novice 2A now. This was an eventful test, that's for sure, and just excuse the filming. This was Mum's first time ever filming one of my tests, and she gets better by the second one, and she'll get better each comp, I swear. So terrible first entrance, but guys, please keep in mind though, young, inexperienced horse. So obviously she is tense through her back. She's just a little, well, tense, let's just be real. She has really lovely moments where she relaxes into a nice frame, and doesn't rush. Like now, she's moving so nicely, and then she'll just have little looks at things occasionally and just pop her head up, but this is also new to her, and she was just such a good girl all day. Like, and she has a little balk at the letter. She's actually never seen like this type of arena before, or the letters, hence why she had like a little look. So we then have a little bit of throwing her head. We scored like a 5.5 for that, because she resisted in the contact, but then came out of it really nicely. Just has little moments where she's, you know, going a bit above the bit. Now we have our long rein or long rein trot, and she stretches a little bit. She has moments of where she stretches out a bit. Then I pick her back up, and we have a lengthen trot. Now I didn't want to ask for too much lengthen just because I didn't want to push my luck and fall into canter, but she showed a nice little amount of lengthen then, and then I just brought her back a bit early just to make sure she was able to turn. She did have a bit of a shy at that corner, and hence why the head came up there. Then we go into a walk for our medium walk. Now her walk has so much potential because she has such a naturally big stride in the walk, but we just need to get the header under control because once she's got a nice frame, she will score so well for that. And then we walk across the diagonal in a long rein walk, like a stretchy walk, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't really stretch out too much, but I mean, she's just, you know, looking around. It's a lot for her to take in. She has nice moments. I'm glad I was able to let the reins go and have her not do anything stupid. The thing that made me so happy about how she was on this day is she was actually listening to me the whole time, apart from a part you'll see coming up, which was a bit unexpected. But she was listening to me, she was on my aids, she was really, really good. Like, here we had a bit of a lengthened canter, I brought her back. She's just, like, such an honest horse and just listens to everything I ask of her. Even when she gets a bit spooky or when she gets tense, she's still listening. And just watch. Ready? See ya! So yes, we left the arena. That calls for an elimination. If you guys don't know, I came trotting back in, talked to the judge, and I actually was like, does that mean I'm eliminated? And she said yes, obviously. I've never been eliminated before, but there's a first for everything. She does a beautiful little trot in though, doesn't she, now that we've been eliminated? So I came and spoke to the judge, and the judge was nice enough to say, look, you can finish the test if you'd like to, because we don't want her to learn that when she leaves the arena, that's where you stop. So we finished the test. The rest of this was not scored, or judged or anything. And she was so good. Like, just watch the improvement from the first half of the test to this. Like, even just now in this first canter. Like, oh. And it was probably also because I relaxed, because now there's no pressure. We're not competing for anything. And I was like, okay, let's just finish the test and just look at the difference. Like, wow. That trot, the frame, everything about that was a million times better than the first half. Not a terrible transition. Her canter is stronger than her trot though as well, so this is all the canter work. And she is a lot stronger in her canter than her trot, which is weird. It never used to be that way. But she's stronger in her frame, not necessarily in sitting back on herself as much, but yeah. And then we come back, and I was really watching that she didn't jump over again, because I did not want that to happen. And there was no warning either before she jumped. She was just like, okay, bye. Fell into, I was trying to ask for a bit more length in that time, because I was like, oh, not being judged, it doesn't matter. And I asked for too much without enough half halt, and she broke into canter, but it didn't matter by then. So yes, to you guys this might look like a really, really messy test, but what it is to me, it's a quiet young horse doing her first test. Yes, it's not neat, it's not the prettiest picture, but she was quiet, and yes, she left the arena, but other than that, she didn't put a foot wrong. She was quiet. She just had little green moments because she's a young green horse, but I was very proud of her nonetheless. She's a funny girl for sure. Bambi, Bambi, Bambi. No, I know, she was quiet, just very green. Very green. That's what sucks about starting with the novice. It's hard because the arena at where the horses are is not a dressage, like it's massive, so I feel like the circles, when I've been thinking I'm doing the 15-meter circles or the half 10-meter circles, I think they've been bigger than that. That's my first ever elimination, but the judge was nice enough to let me finish the test, so we don't teach her that when you jump out of the arena that means you can stop. Well, that's young horses for you. I'm not upset, disappointed or anything. It is what it is. I didn't expect much. I mean, I didn't expect to get eliminated, but at least now, for her first ever test, it's not going to be hard to beat for the second one. That's just so funny. Now for the prelim the prelim 1C. So again, dodgy halt. We did not get good scores for our centre line and halts because she's so wobbly. But straightness is one of the hardest, if not the hardest things for a young horse. It's so hard to actually be straight. So here we go. This is a lot better than the novice. She was a bit more settled and just kind of acclimatizing a bit to the environment and the arena. Corners still need work, obviously, but she's got a nice pace going. She's not rushing. She's not as tense, still quite tense at times, but she has more moments of relaxation than she did in the other test. Nice little serpentine. And I do go through my score sheets at the end of this video and my percentage from this test, because obviously I didn't get a percentage from the first test. But yeah, nice little canter transition. She's a bit steadier in the pace. Frame is all over the place a little bit, but it's not too bad. And then we come back to the trot. I actually trotted her at the corner just because I didn't want to risk her jumping out where I was supposed to start trotting there at A. But I wasn't doing this for a place or, you know, a qualifying score or anything. I was doing it for her to have a good experience, and my main goal for this test was for her to not exit the arena unexpectedly. We have a spook at E. I get her back on track. She actually spooked coming in, like, round before the judge at H, actually. She refused to walk past H. She's quite funny. Her spooks are so, like, ridiculous because there's just nothing to them most of the time. Sometimes that's not the case. But she tends to be just quite cautious. But then she is sensible at the same time, where she may spook at something, but then be like, oh, okay, it's nothing. I'm sorry. As you could see from that medium walk, needs a lot of work. But it's just funny when you get out to a comp because she's so beautiful in her walks at home and then, well, in everything, in her frame. And then we get out to a comp and it's like, wow, we're 6 months behind. But that's just what it's like with horses. Like, you always feel like as soon as you get out to a comp, it's like you're 3 to 6 months behind in your training than where you are at home. But her canter transitions were really nice. She got her leads, which is good. For those of you who don't know, when I got Bambi, I couldn't even canter a 20-meter circle with her. She was not strong enough, not balanced enough. She hadn't been broken in for very long before I got her. It was like 6 months. And she struggled to get the correct canter lead. It took us ages to be able to get her to canter properly and balanced and nicely. So this is massive for her. She used to always canter like disunited, and it was very difficult to neaten that up. But she's come so far in her canter, which is so nice to see. Yeah, it used to be her weakest gait. Now it's stronger than her trot. So now I need to focus more on her trot. I nearly actually lost her in the long range trot, so I brought her back there. I let my reins go too far, sorry. I got a bit too confident. First half of the circle, she was showing a nice stretch, and then she's like, oh my god, let's just do a massive length and trot through the rest. Horrible centre line, overshot the corner. Used to a pony doing corners. Going from a pony to a horse proved to be very different in the dressage arena, obviously. But yeah, she was a good pony. Stay tuned to the end of the video for my results. You'll be surprised, because I was. Bambi has been washed and is eating her hay. We had a win for the second test because we didn't jump out the arena. So we'll see what the score is of the second test and how the first test was scoring until we got eliminated. But I'm just happy that she stayed in the arena and we didn't have any spooks apart from before we entered. But she was very sensible, just very green, as expected. But she's being very settled at the float and she's just standing and happy. Yeah. Okay, so I am home now. I'm just gonna sit on the floor. Yes. So I've got my score sheets. I thought I'd go through the novice just before I got eliminated. So surprisingly, it was scoring pretty well from Judge C. As expected for one of the 10-meter half 10-meter circles, I got a 5.5 because it just did not feel balanced enough. I just didn't feel like I had her where I wanted her. But still, nonetheless, we've got we only got to 9 steps out of 17. But we have 2 7s and mostly 6.5s. So that is pretty good. There are 2 5.5s. Which one was for the second half 10-meter circle, and the one after that was for the stretchy trot, which I was kind of surprised about. I wonder what the other judge gave me for that. 6.5. So, but yeah, then she got yeah, 2 7s, mostly 6.5s, 2 5.5s, and a 6. So I probably would have scored alright, especially because after she jumped out of the arena, the rest of it felt much better. Like, I was not happy with the start of the test, and then the rest of it felt really nice. But then from the other judge, who was harsher on everyone, like, she had some really low scores for some people. She gave me mostly 6s and 6.5s, a couple 5.5s. So yeah, not really great, but I mean, I wasn't happy with the test. I didn't think it was going to score well. We didn't get a score for that, obviously, because we didn't finish it. But then we had the 1C, which is where we got second place. I'm still blown away that we actually placed and got 64%, because, well, that was her first completed dressage test. This was her first ever dressage test, which we got eliminated for, but it happens. But yeah, she scored really well with this. Again, like, it really shows when you get out and compete on a young horse how green they really are. Because at home she felt really good, and then I get out and the arena felt so much smaller, because I'm used to riding in such a big arena, and I was like, oh my gosh, and it just, everything felt smaller, and it just, you know, really showed to me how green she is. But she scored better than I thought, 64.11%, but I came out thinking I was not gonna, I don't know, this was like my average score, around my average score that I'd get on Jep. I normally would get around a 64, 65, and then for Bambi's first ever dressage competition to walk away with this, I was pretty happy. So we did not do good entrances and halts, and the good thing, like, reading the notes from both tests, the only negative that we had was about straightness and tense, like her being tense, which was obvious. It's her first dressage test. She was tense and just getting used to it all. And then straightness, which I know is an issue. She is a young horse. Straightness is very, very difficult for young horses. We got a 5.5 for both of our centre lines. But then straight into a 7, 6.5, 7, 6.5, 6.5, 7, 6, 6, 7. Like, pretty half decent scores considering that's her first dressage comp. So I was pleasantly surprised with a semi-decent score considering. And then we got the comments, because the other test didn't have any comments because we didn't finish and we got eliminated. But this one says, so much potential when more settled, tense at times and coming up and stiffening back, quietly managed. So what I expected and what I got from both tests and all judges, it was just about her being tense and her needing to relax, which is something that just comes in time. It's nothing to do with training or anything like that with her being tense and above the bit at times. It's just experience, getting her out there more, getting her exposed to more things. But she was so sensible. I was really happy with her. And just the things that I really need to work on at this time is corners, especially. The corners just were wobbly or cutting corners, so lots of turns, just really bringing her back for the corners, just like half halting and kind of bringing her into them more rather than rushing through them. And then straightness, but again, straightness is a hard one because it's not as easy for a horse to be dead straight than it is for them to be bent. So that'll come, and I'll work a lot more on my centre lines and stuff. But a big thing for me is the corners, because as soon as I get her better with her corners and tighter turns is when the test will be ridden more accurately, which is really important. So yeah, our next comp is actually hacking, which I think will be good for her because the circles, like, you don't have the tight 10-meter circles and things like that, and the corners and things, so it'll be good to just get her out and get her relaxed in her frame, and rather than having to worry about the straightness and tight turns and stuff, we can just do big circles and worry about her frame and getting her to relax more. So that'll be really good for her. Not expecting much from hacking, but especially because the comp I'm going to seems to be about everyone is going to it, and I think I'm going to be in a massive class for my height, but it's experience, that's what we're going for. And that's a local one, which is good. And for those wondering, it's the Sutton Farm, I don't know what it's called, Sutton Farm show, I guess. And then after that we have one more comp for the year, which will be the barrel members Christmas dressage day. It's non-official, which will be good because we can just go out and do a couple tests and just use it for experience, and then that'll be it for the year. So it kind of sucks that we didn't get to compete much this year, but I just want to make the most of these last few, use them for experience. I just really want to get her out more and more, because the more she goes out, the more she'll be relaxed, and that frame will come really nicely. Because she was amazing in the warm-up and really, really good, but then she got into that tight space of the arena, which again, she's never been in a dressage arena like with the white, you know, a proper official dressage arena. She's only been in normal arenas, and it just you know, is a bit daunting to everyone. But yeah, so I'm really happy. I love that I was just so happy in this situation. It's quite funny because I was saying to my parents, like, with Jep, if something like that was to happen where she jumped out of the arena, like, I'd be really disappointed, or if my test went like how it went, both tests went with Bambi on Jep, I'd be so disappointed, and I'd like be gutted. But coming out of the tests, which I knew writing them, they were terrible in my mind, and I knew they were bad. Like, I wasn't happy with either of them, but I came out and I was just so happy, which is so funny because, like, I wasn't happy with the test, but I was just so happy with Bambi because she was well behaved and she tried, and like the issues we had was just greenness, but like it's just so funny because I never thought I'd look at doing a test like that, coming out of it and being like, oh, and then laughing. Like, after she jumped out of the arena, I came out and laughed. I was like, I was just laughing about it, like, to a friend of mine. I was like, gotta love young horses, they're fun, aren't they? Like, it's just, it's nice because I find it takes a lot of pressure on me having a young one. It's so weird, but like, because you just don't have those high expectations, and anything small that happens, like, I had some good moments in the tests and that makes me happy. I think I just need to stick to young horses because just the littlest things make me happy, where if I was to do tests like I did on Bambi on Jep, I would not be happy. I would be absolutely gutted and in a bad mood, but I'm beaming. I mean, this blew me away. And it just makes me so happy that doing a test like that, she can still score 64% and come second. And that's her first dressage comp, first time in a dressage arena. I'm just so excited for the future with this horse. One more thing, I had a memory pop up on Facebook today, and on this day 5 years ago I did my first ever competition, which was on Super. If you guys remember Super, you were OGs. But yeah, my first ever competition that I ever did 5 years ago today. How crazy is that? So Bambi's first dressage competition falls on the date of my first competition ever. It's just a date full of firsts. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and I will see you guys probably next week. I don't know, I really don't know when I'm posting or what I'm posting anymore, but I'm just gonna see you guys when I see you, you know. I have 2 more show vlogs eventually for this year, but maybe I'll do another video before then. I don't know, leave some video suggestions in the comments because I'm kind of lost for ideas. So yeah. Alright, bye!